Esta conferencia comenzará a grabarse.
Okay, so
my camera.
now, perfect. Very good. Good idea to have the projection behind you. Okay.
No, this is the presentation only with the Copas logo. The presentation is on my laptop, so you have to give me the rights for sharing my laptop.
Yes, don't worry. Okay, so welcome everybody. Just for your information, for those of you that are new, we organize our sessions in 3 blocks. The first one will be the conceptual framework that today will be given by Christiana Eisenberg from the Krupas cluster in Germany. And after that, we will have 2 blocks. The first one about disruptions and needs that you could have identified in your area of work, okay? And if possible, we could ask or comment also about potential solutions for that disruptions, okay? If we don't identify neither disruption or needs or solutions, we could just share expertise, knowledge, ideas, proposals. Okay, that's the main purpose of our sessions. First, we will hear Christiana, but the floor will be open to everybody after her. I encourage you to participate, okay, to speak, to share, to comment. But for now, we will start with Christiana. So welcome, Christiana. Thank you for joining us. I'm giving you the presentation rights now.
So can you see my presentation?
Yes. Not in presentation mode yet.
Yes. Just 1 second.
Yes.
Hopefully now.
Now it's perfect. Thank you. You can start.
Yes, just 1 second. I have to take it. Okay. So I was informed from Christoph from Poland that I should say a little bit about European Drones Cooperation with states, right? Hopefully. Yes. Okay. So and a little bit about drones and crisis situations. Please don't hesitate to do questions or something like this, because yes, it would be nice to make a discussion and not only to do a presentation. And I hope I will presentation only about 5 minutes, so we have time to discuss. So what is the European Drones Cooperation EDC? We had a discussion about cooperation at European levels for drones, and I would like to say that we see not only the drones in the air, we also see drones on the ground or on the sea, because all about we are talking is unmanned systems, but COPAS is coming originally from the unmanned aircraft systems in the air. So COPAS, what COPAS is founded 2017 because we are a cooperation with people who are scientists from drones, producers of drones, but only a smart part of producers and a large part of people who are working with drones. We are now 65 members. And we had cooperation with the UAS Denmark in 2018. The picture you see is Zorenland, the third from the left side, on the right side, and to my left side in the picture is Professor Uwe Meinberg. He is the board of directors of COPAS, and Zorenland was the manager of UAS Denmark. And at this time, we decided that it should be interesting to create an association, something like this at EU level. And we discussed this. and what we want to do is cooperations for initiate projects, founded and bilateral projects. So, and also we had a meeting, Kurpas, US, Denmark, and our Aerospace Valley at the Exponential in 2019, and discussion about closer cooperations. And we identified some national drone cooperation who are interested in project work. This is the main topic of us to do projects, and not, we are also doing something with EU regulations, but the most interesting thing for us is projects identification. So, okay. Sorry. So the second step was in 2019. So we are now 1 year old, young baby. And we had a meeting at the International Corpus Conference at the 20th June of 2019. We signed in cooperation, and the drone organization who are into this association together are from Denmark, from France, from Germany, from Poland, and from Belgium. And we are now discussing about other members in several countries, and also Windrove. I don't know if you know this, is a corporation in Hamburg, in Germany. They are also working with drones, and they have actually a project for transportation of blood probes and several other medical stuff in Hamburg. And they are also a network, and the association they are working together is the Hamburg Aviation. So we are in close discussion with them to be member with us. So what we are doing is we have a strong cooperation between our partners who have signed the contract. We have the exchange between us for European projects. We are doing briefing with strategic initiatives. So one thing is, for example, that we as Kurpas wrote a letter to all our ministries, for example, infrastructure and economy, for creating something like a workshop for the topic of using drones in pandemic situations, because this is something I think it's very interesting in the pandemic and crisis situations, I should say. So, and also we have annual meetings. The next meeting I will say a little bit later. And what we are also doing is we are in our team, we have regular video conferences like you also, I think. We created a website, she's currently hosted by Kurpas.de, but we are creating a new own website for us, hopefully in the next year. We are now sharing an international calendar for the subject of unmanned systems. This was something our French partner Arnaud was discussing with us, because we would like to see, we would like to show how many activities for drones are existing in the UA. We have also one Zoom meeting initiated from US, Denmark, with the information of a EU law for drones that will come in January of 21, not yet, so it's a little bit later. I have the link to this event, and we are planning our annual meeting in Denmark for the International Drone Show in Denmark, which this will be placed at the 17th of September. Hopefully, Corona, we could go to Denmark for our meeting. So, and we are only 1 year old, but our first project, hopefully we will get a positive signal. This is really nice that all our participants or members of our EDC are involved in this project, and many thanks to WUAS Denmark. I don't know if one of them is here to this day. They did most of the work for this project, and this is a project with Horizon 2020, and should be the intensive contact with all the European countries, or most of all the European countries, for innovation regions, and for identify innovation also with unmanned systems. And we are thinking that hopefully during the summer we will get any information that we can start with this project. This will the project also for showing that the cooperation of EU level also with drones is a very interesting topic. Do you have any questions? So no? Okay.
Not for now, but please continue, and later we can.
Yeah, okay. So Christoph told me that I should say a little bit about drones in crisis situations. We are, as COPAS, are working, for example, with fire protections together with fire protections in Poland, because COPAS is located near the border to Poland, and we have a so-called Interact A project possibility. And we did 2 projects together with the university in Zielona, and in this case we are discussing with our fire protections about using drones for crisis situations. The most topic thing, for example, the fire protection need is they need the situation report. Especially, I didn't integrate the photo, but I can show it in another presentation. For example, if you have a fire in a forest area, you don't see where the I don't know it in English, the Glutnester, where the little spots are. So the drone can help. And in our region, we have a lot of fire during the summer because of the climate change. One very interesting topic is also to search for people, because if somebody is lost, for example, a child, or also people who are a little bit older, the search with drones and infrared cameras is very interesting, and is something that helps us very much. Also, if you like to search a person in the water, because if you have sea or something like this, you have a lot of people who are going down, and the drone also can help you to search these people. We are creating simulations with drones. For example, if you do some pictures, you can do the simulation for showing the head, for example, the ministry, how the crisis situation is in the moment. What we see, but I don't see it in reality. I see it only in videos from YouTube. But for example, in Spain and also in China, drones are used for information of people. They are flying to the streets and say, okay, stay home, or use your mask, or something like this. I also see videos from China. They are spraying some disinfection spray or something like this. I don't know if it's very useful to use drones with the spraying of something like disinfection things, but we can perhaps discuss. What we also see is in crisis situations, you can supply water and food. For example, if people are in situations where you can't reach, the drone is easier to go there. And what we are also discussing in Germany, I think also in other EU countries, is the air taxi can transport goods and people, and the ADAC in Germany is discussing about the transport of medicaments and also about doctors with an air taxi to the people who have an accident or something like this. So little bit, if you would be a member, first to say you don't have to pay anything because our association is our corporation is really without costs, only your time. But the benefit is strong community, research-oriented network, and conferences. And yes, send me an email if you're interested, or some of our other partners. And here are the guys who are in the moment the network. Hopefully we are growing. 1 year is a little baby. We will be older and older, and more people hopefully. This is Arnaud, Petra, Christoph, my person, and Professor Meinberg, the head of our association, and Tide from UAS Denmark. So hopefully I'm in time and we can discuss.
It's perfect. I only see a small problem in your presentation, is that I don't see emails.
Pardon?
The email is not in the.
Okay.
Please introduce it.
Yeah.
At least one. Yeah, you know.
Yes, I give it to.
Please. But please, yeah, if you put it, send it to me, and I can for sure. We will share this presentation in the registration of today's session. Okay, it will be published in the European Cluster Collaboration Platform, and everybody will be able to review the video and the presentation. Thank you very much. I have some questions before we open the floor for everybody. Okay, the first one is: have you suffered? How much has the sector, the businesses, your members suffer with the crisis? Have you suffered for the lack of components, or?
Sorry, I don't understand really what.
Are you suffering for the lack of materials and on the components for making drones?
If our members have a possibility to create some drones like this, or what do you mean?
No. During the crisis, we have observed that there were or there are lot of sectors, as for example textile, that lack some key raw materials or components, electronics components, for
So
example.
if you have a lack of components, yes, we have a lack. Yes, for sure. I didn't understand before. I'm sorry. Yes. So what I told before, I only can talk about Corpus in the moment, but because we didn't discuss this in our network. So, but what I know is that we have with our members who are creating drones or creating drones for using with scientists, we have a lack of becoming the material. For sometimes they are creating now the material themselves, but it's only also a problem. You know, with the most one of the most bekannte one of the drone producers is the company Unique. One the largest is DJI, one other is Unique, and Unique is a member of Corpus, for example. And we know that they have several problems to deliver drones to the people who order them. So this is one thing we know, and also we know that if your drone is damaged, for example, and you have to repair it, some of our partners have a little problems, but normally I think it's like in other sectors.
Okay, and do you know if there is a special dependency on any country outside Europe, or is generally speaking? No.
No, I'm sorry, I don't know.
Okay, it would be good if somebody here between us could say share that knowledge. That's how independent is our drone industry from other countries around the globe. Okay, or are these a global supply chain and it's totally interlinked? Anyone would like to comment on that? Do you somebody have data about that?
May I? Krzysztof is speaking.
Welcome, Christoph.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you, Antonio, once again for giving floor to drones industry this time. This is a very young industry, and as Christina just said, we've just established this cooperation 1 year ago. 3 or 4 days ago, we had our first birthday. So it is also the proof how young is our industry, and that's why many questions and many answers are much more complicated than for other industries. Because what we should say about UAVs, I think at least 2 important factors. The first one is that this is very, very promising industry. This is industry of the future. And there is a lot of new opportunities, ideas, but also concrete strategic plans for this industry for the near future and the far future, including even things like public transportation of people. Because what we are doing today is transportation of goods, and even if we can say transportation of goods is on the very, very limited scale. Main purposes of drones those days regarding service is observation, is security, as Christina said, it is search and rescue, but this is some anti-fire actions, but mainly as a surveillance, not as a very active thing. And sorry, I have to stop in this moment because I am at home and somebody is knocking door. I stop this leaving floor for you, and I will come back
Okay.
with okay.
Please,
I'm very sorry.
Please come back to us after that. Okay, don't worry. Okay. Who is leading the industry at worldwide level? How is Europe compared with the rest of the countries at global level?
So at the global level, I think that I see the normal drones, the little drones, DJI, Unique, are very strong. But what I see in Europe is that we have specialists, that we have specialists to producing drones, for example, for fire protection or something like this. And these are very, very interesting and good drones. And also with the thing of flight taxis, I think Germany is very, not Germany, I'm sorry, Europe is very good. And also with drones, for example, for bad weather drones, for example, and several types of hybrid drones. What I didn't mention is that we have several types of drones. We have the multi-rotor drones, we have the hybrid drones, and we have the Flächenflieger drones. And I think that Europe is not so bad, but we could be better. And this is also the point of founding projects. I don't know how your experience are, but we have experience, for example, that we have a long time from the idea for something to create the new drones, for create new sensors with the drone to minimize drones. This is a large part of science in the moment, to minimize all the things, because for example, chip to the lab or something like, or the lab to the chip. Lab to the chip is a part you can use drones for gas detection or something like this. But you minimize all these things. And if we are creating a project in our head together with our partners, German partners, EU partners, or something like this, we need about 1 or 2 years sometimes to get the information from the state if we are founded or not. And I think this is a long time, and this is too long in the most of the time. So I think we have strong scientists, also, for example, with whereas Denmark, or they have the robotics center. They are a combination about different unmanned systems. For example, it's very interesting. For example, you have something to transport. You transport in the first step with a car or LKW or something, and the last mile with a drone, and you make the changing of the products automatically and not with people. These are things we are discussing about. So future discussion, and I think we have to do some special founded projects, especially for unmanned systems, drones. Christoph, okay? Or
Thank you.
are you okay?
Thank you.
Yes. No, what I would like to underline regarding drones, that we have very specific situation, because at the same time this is a very promising and very future-oriented industry. At the same time, we are very beginners. We are still very fragmented in Europe. We are doing some things in Germany. We are doing some things in France. We are doing some things in Poland. I suppose in every country of Europe there are somebody working with drones. Now this is the question: how can we build something together to be more independent? Because this question, which was asked by Antonio, is Antonio, we are very much dependent on Chinese technology those days, and some part of this dependence is related to the product, because the biggest the biggest producer of small drones in the world is a Chinese company, JCI. How is this name? I forgot. They produce probably thousands, hundreds of thousands drones, which are used by operators also in Europe. Now we have, from the other side, we have companies, very small companies, startups in every of our countries, which are trying to build their own products, including hardware and including also software. But still, all those operations are, in my opinion, too fragmented, too isolated. And that's why we decided, together with our German, French, Danish and Belgian partner, to organize this association, this partnership. But we have to find here new partners from entire Europe, and also we have to do some projects, some real projects together, because saying that we are still very weak, very dependent on some components from China mainly. At the same time, the future is extremely important, because I asked also some partners from consulting company, Roland Berger from Munich. Christina should know them.
I know. Yeah.
And they are very much involved in some research related to UAVs, and their reports say that we will have on the world market in 2025 first 2 or 3 autonomous UAVs for people transportation. And up to 2050, there will be around 100 models of UAVs for people transportation. because could you imagine that will be a revolution in especially city, and probably the first applications will be on the wow, what is wow, I forget the that's unbelievable. The place
English
where
word.
no, it's unbelievable. The place where aircrafts are started and landing.
Yeah, the airport.
The airport. Sorry, the most obvious word I'm using every day, 20 times. So at the airport, at the big hubs, this transportation probably would be the first to transport people between many separated fragments of the airport, and also in big cities. So this will become the new very important element of mobility. So it will be something intermodal mobility. There are some, as I know, Audi is working together with some aviation companies to establish something which could be at the same time a car and at the same time UAV. So car would be a model, and UAV will come, take over the model, which is a car, and fly together. And left it in some other place, then it could continue the way. So there are extremely important things, and extremely important for Europe, for European competitiveness. So we cannot still continue to base on those parts, elements, technologies which came from outside of Europe. But to build something, we have to collect some group of people, of companies, which will be altogether strong enough to achieve some strong support, financial support for R&D, to become part of this game. Because from cluster perspective, because we are representing mainly small and medium-sized enterprises, research institutions, what we observe that today only the biggest are rich enough to continue this research. And what we are reading is Porsche working with somebody, Boeing's working with I don't know, with Uber, or no, with Uber probably is Mercedes with Uber. Then Boeing with somebody, Airbus with somebody. So very big players, and there is no answer from our society of SMEs, of researchers. We should be prepared for this game, to at least to support those big OEMs, or to become part of those projects. And this is why it is so important not only to discuss about that, but also to be very open, and we are open as a new initiative, to have more and more partners from European countries. And that's why, let me underline this last point, we are very glad that European Cluster Alliance, which is led by Antonio, give us opportunity to speak, to present ourselves, because in my opinion, European Cluster Alliance should be the focal point for every this kind of initiatives in many different technological initiatives, in many different sectors of European clustering, should meet in one place, which is European Cluster Alliance. We have our own agenda in UAVs, we have our own agenda in aviation, defense, in ICT, etc., etc. But all together, we should link somehow with a central point, which is European Cluster Alliance, which should be our representation, not for sectoral subjects, but for, let's say, more strategic, political, and to be face of all of our initiatives towards administration in Brussels. That's why, please, for all of you, even from UAVs now, next Tuesday we will have meeting of ECA with Commissioner Thierry Breton to defend, to advocate our interest of clusters in Europe. Okay, that's from my side.
Thank you very much, Christoph. You are a great leader of our movement, and I think that you are totally right. Together we are stronger for sure, and we need to show not only but mainly next Tuesday to the commissioner our capacities, the potentialities and the criticality of having SMEs working on this and strengthen our capacity to compete at a global level in this field. Okay, very well. I see that there is a comment on the chat from Alexander Shork. Sorry for the pronunciation. I'm sure. Would you explain?
Yes, I see the comment. Yes, the legal situation is a barrier for UAS application. Yes, I can say only yes, because we need the EU regulations, but on the other hand, I only can say that we have in Germany rules for using UAS, and these rules are nearly in the same situation like the EU rules who are coming in 2021. But we have what we need is a really European right for using drones, and for example, in this situation, for example, some of the partners of Christoph would like to do a mission in Germany. In the moment, this is total different with, for example, the Kenntnisnachweis he has to have in Germany for flying and the school and something like this. And this we need the EU regulations. One of the problems we have, and this was what Christoph was saying, is the drone himself, because I know that we are discussing in the moment about that the drone himself has to be under the EU regulations the permission to fly, and this could be very, very expensive for the drone producers. And on this hand, it is a little bit tricky for our EU members, because a lot of them are startups and they don't have the called money, so many money to do this in the EU regulations. So we are working with our members, and I know that Christoph and the other of our network are also working with members, and we hope with our network we can help some of the members to do the situations, and also we are speaking with the EU regulations. So at the next from Aurora.
Sorry, just before jumping about this same question, would you say that our regulations are stronger or more restrictive than other in the world, or would you say that we are everybody at the same level?
All over the world, I don't know, but in USA the regulations are very strong too. But the strongness of the regulations is not so the part of discussion. The problem is that some of the guys who do the regulations are thinking that drone is like an airplane. This is right if you are speaking about air taxis, unmanned air taxis, but it's not right if you're speaking about drones who are using, for example, in Agrartechnik, in protection, BOS or something like this. I think we have to see that the EU regulations are different points between open, specific, and certified. So we have the difference between the types of drones, and we need this because for some of the missions you are doing with drones, you are not really going into the field of the manned aircraft. So the planned EU regulations are very strong, yes, and hopefully they will change it a little bit.
Christina, before jumping to other question, I would like to invite whoever wants to comment on between the attendants this dialogue is not only between us, between Christina, Christoph, and myself. It's open to everybody. Would anybody comment on this point before jumping to another one, or on any other point? Okay, because I really don't want to have just the comments from our speakers.
Maybe I can just start because Alexander speaking, Alexander Schwock. We also running a small drone project in our region and together with the university and the company, and it's shows up that it's only possible for the university to fly some drones for medical applications, and only this is accepted because they can fly under authority law. And for the company, it's really impossible to get the permission to fly with a drone. And nearly you can't cross, or it's nearly impossible to cross larger streets. You are not allowed to cross cities. So these restrictions are very, very high to even to fly for medical applications. So just samples for analysis and so on and so on. So I think that is a real great barrier. Even if you have a project, you can only fly for in very, very special situations. And that's a great barrier for every research in this area.
Thank you, Alexander. Christoph.
Regarding regulations, this is something which is still pending process in European Union, but also in our countries. My feeling is that till now, countries, even members of European Union, did own decisions regarding that. And as I observe my country, Poland, I see that my civil authorities and my Ministry of Infrastructure, they are quite liberal. And as I heard from some other colleagues from other European countries, seems that Poland is relatively liberal regarding usage of drones. But even in Poland, we are on the stage in which we are testing some solutions, not technological solutions, but regulatory solutions. And we have in our region, which is southern Poland, close to the border with Czech Republic, where my original cluster is located, because I am president of Silesian Aviation Cluster, as you can see on this picture. So we are in Poland, the place where drones activity is mainly located. And we have something which is called by our government Central European Drone Demonstrator, so which is kind of a trial place, not for only trials of drones as a technology, but as a regulatory. We are testing some regulatory solutions, because it is different. What can we do today, for example, in Poland? If drone is below 25 kilograms, is very liberal, but not in the borders of the city. And this is exactly what Alexander said, that if you would like to use a drone in the city, the situation became very complicated today. And for example, in Polish law, we have to very exactly define the route of the drone, and then even present it for our local civil aviation authority, how it would work. We have to be certain that there will be not pedestrians over there. And this is also the response on the question of Aurora from the chat. What about safety and air control? This is very important thing, because aircrafts are very, very big and very dangerous if they're come down. But in the number is relatively low in comparison with what we can imagine about drones. If all cities will start with this drones flying? What about crash of drones? What about crash between them? What about crash when they come when they are grounded and they can? So there are very complicated things. What can we say about the COVID and about UAV? In my opinion, this industry is one of those which rather is stronger because of COVID pandemic than weaker, because we found out that this kind of solutions are needed by society. And thanks to this COVID situation, we had some opportunities to present
just
what
one
can we
moment.
do with it. Yeah.
Christoph, just one moment.
Yeah.
Sorry, just for your information, Christiana, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
You should be aware that we are seeing your screen.
Yeah.
Please stop sharing it if you
Yeah,
want.
sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
I only did
Sorry,
it
sorry.
in the chat to the other side. Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry, Christoph.
Oh, so just to summarize that our industry, UAVs, drones industry, is from one side has been suffered by lack of parts, lack of supplies from China, which is once again proof that we should be more independent. And from other side, it was opportunity to prove that our products are very useful and are needed by society. Because during this pandemic, we tried to organize some blood movement by drones and also in Poland, for example, our one of the company they introduced very interesting application which is called drone radar, and it is prepared together with our local civil authorities, aviation civil authorities, and it is something like a beginning of the system for controlling flight of drones. But still, the common regulations on the European Union level are needed. That in every country should be those regulations should be the same. But here is also another risk that that those regulations cannot be too strict. They should be as liberal as it is possible to avoid any safety problems, but they cannot be too strict because they could kill the growing industry. Very complicated.
Thank you, Christoph.
Yes.
More comments on this topic. I understand that this is a very important topic. More realities, more opinions. I see that Sascha has made some comments also. Will you tell us your view, Sascha?
Yes, sure. My name is Sascha from LRT, the East German Aerospace cluster. And I just wanted to comment that the EASA is working on easier or simpler regulations called Part 21 Light. They are still working together with companies. The link I've sent you, there are also workshops where companies are invited to make the regulations together. And I think for us as aerospace clusters, it's a good opportunity to get involved in these workshops. So I just wanted to inform you that we can, together, bring that together.
That's very good. Thank you.
Thanks.
Very good. That's good to know. That's the kind of exchanges of information that are useful for us. Thank you. More questions, more comments on this topic. If not, we will jump to the other one that Marek is asking again, and I think it's important for us to know. We would like to have more details on the kind of components, the disruptions, problems that you are suffering or could suffer again if there will be another rebound. Okay, that's very critical information because we want to be prepared for the future. So I don't know if somebody has more concrete comments on that, or perhaps you could look for that information and tell us in the by email. I don't know.
I can start just to maybe to introduce the subject, and then somebody will, I hope, join my speech. Please don't be so shy. No, this is mainly about sensors, because what is a drone or UAV as a product itself? We have the rather small aircraft, but we have also drones which are which have takeoff weight about even a few tons. But there are mainly today there are only military applications of this kind of drones, which 2, 4, 5 tons takeoff weight, which is a lot. But when we are discussing about civil applications, majority of drones are below 25 kilos takeoff. So we have two components, generally speaking. One is the aircraft, which in the value of drone is about maximum 20% maximum. This is between 5 to 20% maximum of the cost of drone. And this 80 or even 95% of drone are sensors, which are based on the machine. And those sensors, in my opinion, as I observe Polish market, maybe in other European countries is better, but as I observe Polish market, huge majority of those sensors came from China. And because we are able to produce aircrafts, we have fantastic companies in Poland, for example, in my cluster, which are able to, which are very good in design, in aero design. They can build it from composite materials. They are flying fantastic. They are controlling, etc. When we are discussing about sensors, big majority of them are imported from China. And this is something that, in my opinion, should be changed. Maybe it is not possible to be changed immediately, but we should have this in mind. And this sensor should be more and more European based. So that's my observation, but maybe in your countries is different. I'm interested to hear.
That is a strong link with the electronic ecosystem, I understand, and the digital one also. Yes, comments on that point, please. Arnaud, bonjour, Arnaud.
Maybe me speaking again, Sasha here. Yeah, Christoph, you told us that you haven't so much sensor producer in Poland. I think there are a lot of sensor producers all over Europe, but we do have a sensor cluster. It's called Sensa here in East Germany, and they are not really working on sensor or drone sensors, yeah, like distance control and so on and so on. What we do need is to bring the regulations from the aerospace to this sensor producers. That is the most important thing, because they don't know what happening in aerospace. This is what I got from my side, from the aviation branch.
So you mean that the Chinese sensors are compliant with our regulation, but the Germans one, no?
No, we do have a lot of sensor producers, and they develop very well also for the they are developed very well for the automotive industry, but they are also looking for new branches. So for an example, drones, but they don't know the really requirements they have to head for. This is what I try to say.
Antonio, may I add one comment to that? This is exactly the problem, because we are lacking the European scale. Because we have also in Poland producers of some sensors, which are mainly focused on sensors for two applications: one automotive, and second defense sector. But the problem is that what we need in unmanned aircraft sector are very small sensors, and the problem is the miniaturization. So
Yes.
those sensors which are good enough for automotive, for railways, for defense machines are not good enough for small UAVs. And this is the problem, that we have to buy those sensors from outside. Why? Because, for example, this biggest why I have today empty head. Sorry, I forgot this name of the biggest producer of drones. JCI. So. So this Chinese company has a turnover in selling drones around the world about, if I am not wrong, $3 or $4 billion. One company producing drones which you are able to buy in every market, in every country in the world, including every country of European Union. Those drones are really excellent, but they are small drones, and they are on the border between professional and amateurs equipment or usage. Now we need in Europe enough demand from one group of drones producer to send the message to sensor producer that there is a really need, concrete demand for small sensors. Because if we are so small, separated companies, 20 in Poland, 50 in Germany, 60 in France, and every DJI, that's DJI. So this is this producer I had in mind, sorry. And we don't generate the real market for European sensor producers, because we are hundreds of separated companies. We don't have one group. Maybe it should be. Maybe this is idea for one of the future joint cluster initiatives. Maybe we should consider that this is something very, very useful for this new methodology.
Yeah,
Yes,
or the INOSU project, the INOWINS project will help on that also. Sorry, Christiana.
So what Christoph said is totally right, because we have a lot of innovative companies all over Europe. But the problem is that the sensor and also the energy for using in the drone, in the moment it's electricity energy, but we also discussing about gas sensors and something like this. We have to create a strong network between all these guys who are doing components from the drones. And this is also what we as Corpus in Germany try, because we have in our network not only the producer from a drone, we also have the sensor technology or the energy technology and the KI. What we didn't discuss in the moment is that we are flying mostly piloted with the drones. And what we are discussing in the future and also with the EDC is to do drones with automatically and autonomous flying. And so you need KI for using with drones later on. And what I say sent you are 2 links with sensor technology in Germany and all over the world, in optic, and also one IHP. No, I didn't send this. So I think the strong European network of all over the Prozesskette, process from producing with drone, using the drones, the components of drones. I have a chart, but I don't have it in the moment. I can send it to you, Antonio. What is all over what you have to do for using drones as a computer, I say always, yeah. The drone is like a computer, for using data, for using pictures, for collecting data, for collecting pictures, for giving you, for example, how your roof is. Now, next year, the next over next year, or agriculture, for example, to protect agriculture, or something like this. Yes, this is what we are needed, strong network of people who are creating drones from the beginning to the end.
Congratulations, because for me it's very, very clear the opportunity and the need to coordinate the action. And so it's a perfect field for our community of collaborative or a collaborative ecosystem, the cluster community. So thank you very much. It has been a very, very interesting session. I feel that we need to speak a lot of more about that and support you in what you propose to do. Okay, so this is not the last session, I think, and please keep us informed about what you are doing. Thank you very much, Christina. Thank you very much, Christoph.
So I will quit now. Thank you very much and I will send you a presentation, also the emails from us. Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Tomorrow we will speak about blockchain, and please remember that next Tuesday we join a discussion with the Commissioner Thierry Breton. Be there. It's important to be there. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.